This is the All right, folks, welcome to another White House press briefing with the press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. So welcome. Thank you so much for choosing Golden State Times as your stream of choice. Right now, I'm sending notifications through text message and through email. If you're already here and you're getting a notification, then thank you so much for being here nice and early. But we have to send out notifications because YouTube does not do it. But I do want to know, how many of you guys actually got notified by YouTube today? We need to know that kind of information. It's very helpful because that way we know how much of an impact text messages are having and emails are having when it comes to getting notified. So if you did get notified by YouTube only, let us know in the chat. It'll help us out a lot. Thank you so much. We'll be switching over to the White House in just a few moments. So right now I'm just sending notifications through email and text message just to get more patriots in here so they can see the White House press briefing for themselves instead of just getting clips and bits of it on social media from the fake news. All right, folks, so we're sending text messages right now. Give me 1 second here. All right, so let me check if anyone got notified by YouTube. Yeah, so it says some patriots did get notified by YouTube. Some other patriots did not get notified by YouTube. So that's the reason why we have the text message notifications. That's the reason why we have those, because YouTube does not on a daily basis notify whenever we go live for a live stream, even though we do on average 1 live stream a day. Sometimes President Trump delivers 2 speeches, so we have 2 live streams a day. And the good thing about the text messages is that we will never spam your phone because they're just way too expensive for us to waste them. So that's the reason we only send 1 text message a day. Unless there is a second live stream that is very important, then we'll send you 2 text messages in 1 day. But like I said, we will never spam you. We will never send you just BS messages because they're just way too expensive for us to waste them. So we guarantee you that we will never spam you through text messages because they're just way too extremely expensive. If you are not part of our notification list through text message, all you have to do to sign up is text the word Trump Live to the number 555-888. So once again, that word is Trump Live, Trump L-I-V-E, all together, Trump Live to the number 55-58-88. And you'll get added to the notification list. If you've done it in the past, you don't have to do it again. Just 1 time. You only have to, send a text message, Trump Live, to the number 555-888 1 time, and you'll be added to the list. So when it comes to the text messages, they're still being sent. They're sent. It says send in progress right now. So I guess they're still sending out notifications through text message. But we have sent them out already, and they should be out in just a few moments. Thank you so much for your interest in signing up to our email and also our text message notifications, because that helps us out a lot. That keeps us in contact with you guys. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. If you share the live stream on Twitter, we'll give you a shout out. So that's all we ask for, folks, is a quick share on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Reddit, whatever social media you have. If you can share the live stream on there, that'll be greatly appreciated. We have White House footage of inside the White House press briefing room. We'll be switching over right now, so just give me a second. And then we'll also be working on the hot mic. But we have footage from inside the White House press briefing room, and we're going to be putting that up on your screen right now. And we'll also be giving shout outs right now to everyone that is sharing the live stream on social media as a thank you for your help and your support. That's the only way that Golden State Times stays on the air, is by patriots sharing the live stream on social media. So if you already shared it, thank you so much for your help and your support. It means a lot to us, and it helps us out immensely. So once again, we'll be giving shout outs right now to everyone that is sharing the live stream on Twitter. And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. We'll also give you a shout out. That lets us know that you want to stay up to date on everything that is going on in politics. The hot mic should be on in just a few moments. So the hot mic should be on in just a few moments. Give us a little bit to turn the hot mic on. We would like to welcome Bluesman71 for subscribing to the channel. We cover the president fairly and completely 24/7, 365. So if you are new to the channel and that's the type of coverage that you want, something where there is no pundits, there's no bobbleheads, there's no reporters telling you how to think or what to watch or what not to watch, or what the president just said when you can watch it for yourself, that is what we do here at Golden State Times. We cover the president's events completely, fairly, and every single day, 24/7, 365. We do not interrupt the president. We show you what is going on at the White House in full. And we cover cabinet meetings, pressers, meetings at the Oval Office with President Trump and world leaders, and also lawmakers. We cover everything. We are basically the only alternative media here on YouTube that covers absolutely everything. We don't leave anything off, folks. If the president is delivering 4 speeches in one day, we cover 4 speeches, not just 1, not just 2, not just live streams. No, we cover the president 100% of the time. Whatever the president is doing for the day, we will bring it to you here at Golden State Times, so you guys can check it out in full without any interruption or anything like that. So if that's the type of coverage you like, make sure you subscribe and you click that bell. All right, folks, so I'd like to give a big thank you to Linda Ammons. Thank you so much, Linda, for your support through Super Chat. All of the Super Chats and all of the memberships helps us live stream here on YouTube. All of these live streams that you guys see on a daily basis are brought to you by our sponsors, which are viewers just like you. We don't have huge companies sponsoring us. We don't have huge companies advertising with us or any of that stuff. We rely on the help of our sponsors, our members of the channel. Everyone that you see in the chat or in the comment section of our videos with the Trump hat next to their name, those are our sponsors. They are patriots from all over the country and sometimes even all over the world. They believe in the free press and they help us out immensely. So these live streams are brought to you by all the patriots that are members and everyone that supports us through Super Chat. We would like to welcome Ron McCumber. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now a Trump hat will come up next to your name every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos. Also, don't forget to check out our new emojis that we have. We have a couple Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. We have a couple emojis now of her, if you want to check them out. We also have the America First emoji. We have the boom emoji. We also have the open emoji, the number 45 emoji, and President Trump's get out emoji. Pretty cool stuff. We're going to be uploading new emojis as they in the next few weeks as we start to get them. But stay tuned for that because that's going to be pretty awesome. We'd like to welcome Robbie for subscribing to the channel. You're awesome. Welcome to the family. We would like to give a big thank you to Nicole. Thank you so much, Nicole, for your support through Super Chat. Once again, folks, all those Super Chats, memberships, that's what helps us live stream here on YouTube. All the sharing of live streams. If you guys can help out through Super Chat or membership, there is absolutely no problem. Please take care of yourselves first. You matter, so make sure you take care of yourselves first. But whenever you share the live stream, you help us continue operation here on YouTube. For all of the patriots that support us through membership and Super Chat, you are helping us live stream. It's a team effort, folks. It's a team effort. We work very hard to make sure that you stay informed on everything that goes on. So thank you so much to Nicole D for your support through Super Chat. And we'll also like to welcome new members. We have Richard Martinez. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Also, Alma Loretto, thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. We will also like to welcome Calfarts. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. And I know you help us out all the time through sharing the live stream, so thank you so much for that too. Roger Harrison, thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. So every single time that new members, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. So thank you so much for your hard work and your support. Also, thank you so much to Bluesman71 for your support through Super Chat. You are amazing. Thank you so much for helping us stream here at Golden State Times, bringing these live streams to everyone around the country and around the world. Thank you so much to Matthew. Thank you so much, Matthew Scorin, for your support through Super Chat. A big thank you to you, Matthew, and also to Bluesman71. So Matthew says, will this brief be before or after Pence? So Pence was in Florida earlier today. So Vice President Mike Pence, he went to meet Governor DeSantis. He also went to distribute some PPE, and he also visited some businesses in Florida that had barely opened up. So the Vice President is not in Washington. He is in Florida right now. He might be on his way back to Washington. I'm not 100% sure. But, Vice President Mike Pence was in Florida earlier today. Thank you so much to RJD0320. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of the videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. So there is a Patriot that said, how do you become a member? So Nicole D says, how do I become a member? All you have to do is just click on the money sign in the chat, and then it'll give you the option to become a member, use Super Chat, or Super Stickers. So if you want to check that out, thank you so much for your support and your interest. All right, folks, so I'm going to check on the hot mic, and also I'm going to be giving shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on social media. We would like to give a big thank you to Cannabis Cuisine for your support. Thank you so much for your continued support, Cannabis Cuisine. And Cannabis Cuisine says, when we go one, we go all. Get great cannabis recipes on our website, cannabiscuisine.com. If it's legal in your state. That's very important that I say that, because YouTube is on a roll right now. They just want to take down any channel. So we have to be very careful. Now, once again, check them out. Cannabis Cuisine, if it's legal in your state. There you go, YouTube. That is what I have to say. Anyways, Rob Rickershow, thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat. You are amazing. Thank you for helping us out continue these live streams along with Cannabis Cuisine. Thank you so much for helping us continue these live streams. All right, folks, so there's absolutely no one in the room other than 2 photographers and like 3 techs. So the fake news is not in the room just yet. The hot mic is on, but there's nothing there. So that's, the hot mic is on right now, but you can't hear anything because there's no one there. And, even if I turn off the music, see, music's off, but there's no one there. There's no one in the room. So as soon as the hot mic, as soon as people come in, then you'll be able to hear the hot mic. But it's on right now. We want to give a big thank you to Becca. Thank you so much, Becca Gee, for your support through Super Chat. You are amazing and you help us out immensely, bringing these live streams not only to everyone around the country, but also patriots around the world. They are tuning in. They are tuning in, and we see it, through our analytics that there's a lot of patriots that are tuning in from the UK, from Australia, from New Zealand, from a lot of places in Europe, a lot of places in South America, believe it or not. They're also tuning in. So patriots from all over the country, every single state tunes in here at Golden State Times. I've noticed it throughout the, our analytics, like I said, and patriots all around the world. So thank you so much to everyone that helps us out through Super Chat, and also thank you so much to our members for helping us live stream. All right, folks, so as you guys can hear, the hot mic is on, but there's nobody in the room. The hot mic is on, but there's nobody in the room. So we're waiting for the fake news to start coming in. The hot mic was on the whole time, to be honest with you, but it's just nobody was in the room, and that was the only thing. We couldn't hear anything. But we want to welcome a new member, and I apologize, but from my end, there's a super chat that didn't come up until the last minute. I'll get back to that one. I apologize if I didn't give you a shout out to the Patriot that helped us out through Super Chat, but I'll do it in a second. Just give me a second. We want to give a big thank you and a welcome to David Webb. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Every single time, David, that you type in the chat or in the comment section of our videos, your name will come up with the Trump hat right next to it to let everyone know that you support the free press. So just give me a second here, folks, while we figure something out. So there was a super chat that came through, but there was no alert. So let me see if I can find it here, folks. All right, so let's see. Yeah, YouTube is just screwing up today. It's not even showing me anything. All right, so the hot mic should be back on in just a few moments. All right, so we would like to welcome a new member. We got Nicole D. Thank you so much, Nicole, for your support, becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. So thank you so much once again, Nicole. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. Oh man, I feel really bad for the Patriot. For the Patriot that supported us through Super Chat, but it didn't come up. I can't see it. It doesn't come up. I only saw it like a split second. So I apologize to you, Patriot, that supported us through Super Chat. If anybody caught that Patriot's name, it will be very helpful, but I'll try to find it. Thank you so much for your help and your support. We want to give a big thank you to Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, for your support through Super Chat. And Joe says, great work, Golden State Times. Well, thank you so much for your help and your support. We also want to give a big thank you to Corian Chino. Thank you so much for your support, Corian. And thank you so much for helping us live stream here on YouTube. Your Super Chats helps us continue live streaming here on YouTube. So thank you so much for your help and your support. Also, Phil Bloomquist, thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Give me a second here, folks. Let me just see what's going on with that hot mic. It should be back on in just a few moments. We also want to give a big thank you to Patricia Stevens for your support through the emoji super chat, saying keep it up. Well, thank you so much for your help and your support. I'll be back on the microphone to give shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on Twitter. So don't forget to share the stream on Twitter, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times.
Okay, good.
All right, folks, the hot mic is back on. The hot mic is now back on. We're also going to give shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on Twitter. So let's see here.
The briefing will begin at 3:30 p.m.
Oh, well.
Good upper.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, so I'd like to give a big welcome and a thank you to Amy. Thank you so much, Amy, for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, Amy, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. All of your contributions through membership and super chat helps us continue live streaming here on YouTube. But every single time that you share the live stream on Twitter, on Facebook, on Gab, on Reddit, all of those social media sites, you help us continue operation here at Golden State Times. So it's a team effort, and thank you so much for your help and your support. All right, so I haven't been to Twitter yet, but we're going. Here we go. Eagle Eye River Otter, thank you so much for sharing the stream. My Okie POV, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Cher Renee, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Michael Dees, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing the stream. Paloma de la Paz, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Deb926, Mike G, and Christy Lee, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. We also have Peace on Earth sharing the stream. Stars for Patriots, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Idaho Garden Girl, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Make Earth Love Again, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And also Choosing Greatness 0318, thank you so much for sharing the stream. I have no impeccable evidence, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Idaho Garden Girl, once again, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also like to give a big thank you to Jody and Dr. Ed Cal and Dr. Cheryl for sharing the stream on social media. We also want to give a big thank you to FX999999 and Shane Whitehead. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also want to give a big thank you to Empress Dragon and Michelle Battistone for sharing the stream on social media. And I think, let's see, let's refresh one more time to see if anybody is sharing the live stream here. And the hot mic is on, by the way. The hot mic is on right now. All right, so who is Q? Ask POTUS. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also want to give a big thank you to Rebel Brand for sharing the stream, and Terry Hargrave, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also want to give a big thank you to Levine, thank you so much, Levine, and First Last, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also want to give a big thank you to Truth Hound and Terry Hargrave, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Linda Frank, Patriots United BU, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Pops, thank you so much, Pops, for sharing the stream. Sandy Kelly sharing the stream. Also, Donnie Max and Meek69, thank you so much for sharing the stream. The Watcher and Box of Frogs, thank you so much for sharing the stream. The Mirror 1111, thank you so much for sharing the stream. SW Bonobo, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Jeff W, Corn Q, and Box of Frogs, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. Logically Me and Daniel Guevara, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. The Ventilator, Maga Q45, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Victoria Serbia and Catherine, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. My Thoughts Exactly, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Elsie Valera, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Rexer P and BK Bean, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Bernard Sunday, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Pirate GFX, Tom Fitton, and Johnny Bratcher Music, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Dorcine Puckett, Box of Frogs, and Stop the Drama, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Texas Girl, Golden Girl, Judy Mays, and Calendula 2016, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Sherry, Artisan Mosaics, and Captain Brutta Chimp, and Deplorable Tiger Fan. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also have Robin, Jody, and Dog Mom 3 sharing the stream. We have Doris, Madam X, Alma Loretto, and John Holland sharing the stream. Gary Somebody, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Wiz in War, Alan 1. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Goat Boy 64 and Colin Brown. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. The Storm is here. Robert Razor, The Real Nikki D, and Shane Whitehead. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Linda, Fine Wine Takes Time, Kate Anderson, and Peter Blacklisted. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. We also have BK Beam, Deborah Delario, Dio Toner, and Eddie Hartzog. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Cannabis Cuisine, Kathy Dalton Little, and Mike the Spike is sharing the stream. Catherine Denise Judson, Roger Harrison, Patricia Mauser, and BJ Drinsky is sharing the stream. Aunt Betty, Stand With a Beer, and Michael Brunning. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. All right, folks, I'll be back on the microphone in just a few moments. We would like to give a big thank you to Mongoose for your support through Super Chat. Thank you so much for helping us live stream these live events. Also, Maggie O, thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. All right, folks, I'd like to give a big thank you to Patriot Gale for helping Patriots out look for the live stream of this press briefing. And thank you so much for telling them to check out Golden State Times. You guys are amazing. I know that there's a lot of, especially on TV, almost every single one of the networks don't pass these press briefings. They don't show you the cabinet meetings. They don't show you the White House Oval Office pressers and Oval Office speeches and stuff like that. They don't show any of that stuff. But we show it all completely and fairly here at Golden State Times, 365, 24/7. So if you're new to the channel and that's the type of coverage that you like, you want to see what's going on in politics, what's going on at the White House with President Trump, what's going on in Congress, State Department. Just earlier today, we uploaded Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's press briefing from the State Department. If you guys missed it, it's on the Newsroom channel, on Golden State Times Newsroom. But we uploaded that earlier today, so we also cover State, Pentagon, the Fed. We cover everything that goes on in politics. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times to stay up to date on everything that we're covering on the main channel, on our Newsroom channel, on our website, and everything else in between. I'll be back on the microphone to give more shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on social media. We would like to welcome Patrick, subscribing to the channel for the first time. Thank you so much for your confidence. Also, Michael Skinner, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We would like to welcome you to the family. Also, Marcelo, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Welcome to the family. All right, folks, let's give shout outs here to everyone that is sharing the stream. We got Disco Dictator. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. American Girl 3, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Beth for Life, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Spider-Man, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also like to welcome new followers on Twitter. We have Mike Reppy, thanks so much, Mike. Amy G, Dead Mike, Kathy R, and Seek the Truth. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter at Gold State Times. That lets us know that you want to stay up to date on everything that goes on in politics. We will keep you updated. That is our promise. Let's see here. Who else is sharing the stream? Let's see. Press briefing. All right, so we want to give a big thank you to Michael Ryan, Cynthia, and also Mug Hug Cozy. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Deplorable Trump Lover, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Save America, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Robot Zombie, thank you so much for sharing the stream. BK Bean and God America First, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Alan Phillips Jr. and We Know, thank you so much, We Know, for sharing the stream. Camp Wake Up, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Phil Barretta and Republic Town Square, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Andrew McGee, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And also Biden's Evil Hands, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Scooby Q, thank you so much, Scooby Q, for sharing the stream. The new movie Scoob is okay. It's not bad. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but you know, it isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. And I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan, so I'm kind of disappointed. Rita S, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Prayers for Patriots. And Sylvia Perez, thank you so much for sharing the stream. James Ridgewell, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Also, X in Infinity 8, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Release the Kraken, thank you so much for sharing the stream. John Porras and JMC Neil 7, thank you so much for sharing the stream. JD Clark and also Eno Hacker, thank you so much. Kevin, thank you so much for sharing the stream. SC, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And also Trixie, thank you so much for sharing the live stream on social media. We would like to give a big thank you to The Kid. Thank you so much, The Kid, for your support through Super Chat. Also, Back to Work, thank you so much for your help and your support. So a big thank you to Back to Work and also to The Kid for your support through Super Chat. If you are a member of the channel, check out the new emojis that we have. We have a few of the press secretary, which she is set to come out very, very soon. So we have quite a few emojis of the press secretary. So check them out if you are a member of the channel. We would like to give a big thank you and a welcome to Reserved 100. Thanks so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, Reserved 100, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. We would like to give a big thank you to RMP Fund for sharing the stream. And also, we would like to give a big thank you to Rich the Catman. Thank you so much, Rich the Catman, for your support by sharing the live stream. And I apologize that I did not give you a shout out earlier, but I try very hard to make sure that I get everybody. But the easiest way to find out who's sharing the live stream is on Twitter. So that's the reason why we use Twitter to give shout outs, because it's the easiest place to find all patriots that are sharing our live stream. So thank you so much for your help and your support. We would like to thank and welcome all of our new followers on Twitter. We have Mel Browning, Abel Juan, WWQN, and Frank Ellier. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter. That lets us know that you want to stay up to date on everything that is going on in politics, and that is our promise to you. We will keep you updated up to the minute on everything that is going on in politics, the White House, and everything else in between. Patricia Howell and Mayo Man, also Lee and Gary Somebody. Thank you so much for following us on Twitter at Gold State Times. That lets us know that you want to stay up to date on everything that is going on.
It's not sticking straight up much. Just until Kayleigh goes. Okay. That work or more? I think that'd be fine. I think it's good more if you want. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch her walking down the street, down this walkway. It's not so much the height, it's the amount of the lens is sticking out that way. Ah. Yeah.
All right, folks, so we would like to give a big thank you and a welcome to Patricia for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name, Patricia, letting everyone know that you support the free press. Also, back to work. Thank you so much for your support through Super Chat. And Back to Work says, thanks GST and Lou Dobbs, Trump 2020. Well, once again, thank you so much to everyone that's supporting us through Super Chat and through membership. Super Chat and memberships is what helps us do these live streams. These live streams are brought to you by our members and also everyone that supports us through Super Chat. So thanks so much for helping us bring these live streams to patriots all over the world and all over the country.
So wash both.
Yes, sir. Shoot that little sliver.
That's for the last time of the week. I think you're standing where you're supposed to go. I think you're like, are you on your exit sign?
And then Broiler's over here.
I think so.
All right, folks, so I'd like to give a big thank you and a welcome to AZ Finn. AZ Finn, let me know, is the AZ for Arizona? AZ Finn, thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, AZ Finn, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press.
right, Doug, we gonna go this time?
I think we're a go. Could be a go. Should be a go.
Mask is messing up my facial expression. You just took a picture of yourself with a mask on?
No, it'll just go faster and faster. I have no idea. If it helps you anyway, you could do a picture like, you know, with the next one down. They just pushed it up there like an hour ago.
They pushed what?
The software update an hour ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so it will, instead of,
So it transitions more quickly?
to allow you to be faster.
All right. Do you have to just update the operating system?
Yeah.
What's wrong with City?
2 hours.
This is not the hot tip that I thought I would get coming in here, but happy about it.
There it is. Speeds up access to the passcode field on devices with face app. And you're wearing a face mask. You know, if a year ago I told you you'd be getting an update for your phone so that you get passcode more quickly. Yes, you're wearing a face mask. That's like some science fiction.
All right, folks, so I'd like to give a big thank you to Prayers for Patriots. Thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat. So a big thank you to Prayers for Patriots. All right, folks, we'd like to give a big thank you to White Lightning 1970. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, White Lightning, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press. I'd also like to give a big thank you and a welcome to Lionheart. Thank you so much, Lionheart, for becoming a new member, believing in Golden State Times, and supporting the free press. Now, every single time that you type in the chat and in the comment section of our videos, a Trump hat will come up next to your name to let everyone know that you support the free press.
Briefing will begin in 2 minutes.
All right, folks, 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning. She is on her way. Don't forget to share the live stream and click the thumbs up button. If you share the live stream on Twitter, we'll give you a shout out after the live stream, after she's done. And also anyone that we missed, we'll also give a shout out once she is done. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and click that notification bell. Let us know if you are ready. Give a shout out to your city or to your state or to the country that you're tuning in from in the chat, and let Kayleigh know where are you tuning in from. Sound off in the chat.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to begin by detailing the historic private-public partnership effort launched by the Trump administration to combat the coronavirus. As both a businessman and as president, you'll all remember then candidate Donald Trump, now President Donald Trump, being adamant about bringing manufacturing jobs back to America. President Obama and the Democrats had given up on manufacturing with President Obama's erroneously prediction that Trump would need a magic wand in order to bring back American jobs. Not so. The reality is President Trump revived manufacturing in this country, and he tore up disastrous trade deals that hemorrhaged American jobs, like NAFTA and like the plan that was in work, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Instead, he put in place better trade deals to bring back American jobs and to bring back American manufacturing. And in the battle against the invisible enemy, President Trump took action to shore up our domestic supply chains in order to deliver the necessary PPE and other medical equipment to the states. Speaker Pelosi and House Democrats are currently promoting a $3 trillion liberal wish list among a litany of Democrat priorities immaterial to the coronavirus crisis are embedded in this, and one would require the president to appoint a, quote, medical supplies response coordinator who would, quote, serve as the point of contact for the healthcare system, supply chain officials, and the states on medical supplies. I'm happy to report this individual already exists. This bill ignores reality because the medical supplies official is in existence. He's been working on this since March to deliver to date over more than 1 billion, I should say, pieces of PPE to countries and hospitals across the country. Since March 29th, Rear Admiral John Plovchek, Vice Director for Logistics for the Joint Chiefs, has been on the job as the head of FEMA's Supply Chain Stabilization Task Force. This is a historic partnership with the private sector, and under the leadership of President Trump, FEMA directed the greatest mobilization of the private sector since World War II. Rear Admiral Plovchek and FEMA quickly realized the power of the private sector in addressing the coronavirus, recognizing that the 6 largest private sector medical distributors would have the ability to source, procure, manufacture, and deliver as many as 1 billion pieces of PPE in a single week. That is extraordinary volume by our private sector. And at the direction of President Trump, Rear Admiral Plovchek and FEMA were able to harness this power. Every day at 9 a.m., Rear Admiral Plovchek's team huddles with these 6 large private sector medical distributors, and together they review data compiled by Dr. Birx as well as information provided by the CDC to set priorities and ensure sufficient levels of supplies go down not just to the county level, but to the hospital level. After focusing geographically, Rear Admiral Plovchek and his team orients the data to set point-of-care distribution priorities for public hospitals, VA and DoD facilities, private hospitals, nursing homes, acute care clinics, first responders, and labs. In just 2.5 weeks, Rear Admiral Polovchek and his team were able to combine data streams, utilize supply chain visualization tools from DoD, and input data into the cloud. This system is now available to generate reports for governors showing what their state received from the federal government and commercial partners all the way down to the hospital level, as I noted. And thanks to President Trump and his administration, governors now have visibility as to where their supplies are sent and where they're received. And from March 1st through May 10th, this public-private partnership has led to the delivery, and these are extraordinary numbers, of over 113 million N95 respirator masks, nearly 500 million surgical masks, nearly 18 million face shields, and over 12 billion gloves. That is a lot of PPE, and we thank our private sector partners for engaging in this effort with us. Also, I just wanted to note that earlier today, the President held an hour-long call with thousands of Hispanic community, business, and faith leaders across the country. He recognized the many contributions of the Hispanic community to our country and addressed important issues like how to reopen their businesses and build the greatest economy in history again. And finally, before I take questions, I just wanted to note on a separate note that I wanted to acknowledge the passing of Ravi Zacharias, a renowned Christian apologist who left this world yesterday. Our prayers are with Ravi's family during this time. He meant a lot to a lot of people around this administration. And as my father said, Billy Graham was the great evangelist and Ravi Zacharias was the great apologist. And we are all thinking about him and holding him close to our hearts and his family today. And with that, I'll take questions. John.
Kayleigh, what does the President believe is illegal about the Secretary of State of Michigan sending out absentee ballot applications, and what federal funding is he considering withholding from the state of Michigan as a result?
So, I won't get into exactly what the funding considerations are. I would note that his tweets were meant to alert Secretary Mnuchin and Mr. Vogt about, head of OMB, about his concerns with trillions of dollars going to these states and his noted concerns about a lot of fraud that is potentially at play when you have mass mail-in voting. So with regard to the illegality and legality of it, that's a question for the campaign as to their voting and ballot practices. But I would just note that his tweet was meant to alert OMB. He wanted to be very careful as we send trillions of dollars to states that we keep this important point in mind and we ensure that there's fairness in our voting system and absolute accuracy. Yes, Kayleigh.
But the president himself has voted just 2 months ago by a mail-in ballot. There are several Republican states that are also doing these mail-in applications for ballots. And so I'm confused. What is it that he thinks is illegal that's happening in Michigan? He doesn't really specify.
So first, with regard to the president doing a mail-in vote, the president is, after all, the president, which means he's here in Washington. He's unable to cast his vote down in Florida, his state of residence. So for him, that's why he had to do a mail-in vote. But he supports mail-in voting for a reason. When you have a reason that you are unable to be present, right now, we're very far from November 3rd. I'm glad that you have the prediction tool and you can tell us what will be happening on November 3rd, 2020. I certainly don't, nor does the president.
Primaries coming up, and that's like what's happening in Nevada and whatnot.
I would also, I assume you care about fairness and accuracy in our elections, do you not?
Of course I do. But
Of
there's
course.
not evidence that there is widespread voter fraud.
So there's evidence. You can go look this up on ProPublica. There was a bipartisan consensus on the fact that mass mail-in voting can lead to fraud. There was a 2005 commission by none other than President Carter, who's not a member of the Republican Party, and also James Baker about this, concluding that these ballots, quote, remain the largest source of potential voter fraud. So this is a concern. The president's right to look at this. We want a free and fair election, and that's his concern. Yes, Zeke?
Kayleigh, on this subject and one other on a different one, the president deleted his first tweet, which alleged falsely that the state of Michigan was sending out absentee ballots to every voter. In fact, they sent out absentee ballot requests. Was the president misinformed this morning? And why is he only directing this message toward Michigan, not other states like Georgia and others that are sending similar absentee ballot requests to their citizens?
So the president corrected his tweet, as you noted, and with regard to going state by state and looking at ballots and the way they're distributed, that would be a question for the Trump campaign, and I'd refer you to the campaign on that point.
On the G7, do you have any more details on the timing when the president would like to schedule that here in Washington? And does that mean that travel restrictions that are currently in place on travel from Europe, from China, and other places would potentially be relaxed before that meeting would take place here?
So I won't get into the mechanics of how that would happen. I would note that the president really wants to see the G7 happen here in Washington as we begin not just to reopen the country, but as the world begins to reopen. He'd like to see it happen sometime in June, but as to a particular date, I don't have any announcement on that front or to the mechanisms of how we'd make that work.
Yes. Thanks, Kayleigh. Couple of questions for you. One, does President Trump support the CDC guidelines that were released over the weekend? And if so, why were they released so quietly? Why not talk about them, roll them out here from the podium?
So the CDC guidelines, there was a 60-page document that came out last night that I assume you're referencing. That document, I talked to Dr. Redfield earlier today about it, and much of that was already out there. So Appendixes A, B, C, and D had been out there for a while. Appendix E, he said he thinks got posted sometime late last week. And again, these were his rough estimates he was giving me. Appendix F was being discussed, and there was constructive criticism of it through the task force and the interagency process. So that was refined. And my point in sharing that with you is that the 60-page document was merely an aggregation of a lot of what was already out there. So it's not as if this was new information that we were announcing, but it was more guidance pursuant to our Reopening of America guidance that was issued several weeks ago.
Does the president support the guidelines? Does he think Americans should follow those guidelines, or should they be following the initial guidelines that you rolled out here from the podium?
So the president's been very clear. He supports the Reopening of America guidelines. The CDC guidelines are in concert with those guidelines. He wants to safely reopen this country. It's very important we do so, and it's good to see that most states, I think basically all of them, have plans at this point to reopen, and we're starting to see the safe reopening of several states and Americans getting back to work.
Let me just get your reaction to something. We just got moments ago a statement from the American Nurses Association which says, quote, "The American Nurses Association has not received reports from nurses or other frontline healthcare workers utilizing hydroxychloroquine as a preventative treatment for COVID-19. Why does the president continue to say that many or thousands of frontline workers are using it as a prophylactic?
Well, there is, at Henry Ford Hospital is doing a study on this now where 3,000 frontline workers will be taking hydroxychloroquine to look at its use as a prophylaxis. I believe there's a few hundred or 190 workers in Tampa General Hospital. So this is being used by some. And one thing I want to note with regard to hydroxychloroquine, because I think it's very important that we're as accurate as we can be with our reporting on this. Hydroxychloroquine has been a drug that has been in use for 65 years for lupus, arthritis, and malaria. It has a very good safety profile, but as with any drug and as with any prescription, it should be given by a doctor to a patient in that context. So no one should be taking this without a prescription from their doctor. But that being said, I've seen a lot of apoplectic coverage of hydroxychloroquine. You had Jimmy Kimmel saying the president's, quote, trying to kill himself by taking it. You had Joe Scarborough saying, quote, "This will kill you." Neil Cavuto saying, "What have you got to lose? One thing you have to lose are lives." And you had Chris Cuomo saying the president knows that hydroxychloroquine is not supported by science. He knows it has been flagged by his own people, and he's using it. Well, Cuomo mocked the president for this. And interestingly, I found this out just before coming here. Hydroxychloroquine, of course, is an FDA-approved medication with a long proven track record for safety, and it turns out that Chris Cuomo took a less safe version of it called quinine, which the FDA removed from the market in 2006 because of its serious side effects, including death. So really interesting to have that criticism of the president. And on that note to Chris Cuomo, I'd like to redirect him to his brother, the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo, who has several on-the-record statements about hydroxychloroquine saying, "I'm an optimist, I'm hopeful about the drug, and that's why we'll try it here in New York as soon as we get it. There has been anecdotal evidence that it's promising, that's why we're going ahead." And I have about 8 other quotes from Governor Cuomo, should any of you have interest in that.
You just cited our studies, though. They're trials that are in their early phases. Do you have any evidence that thousands of frontline workers are currently using it because they believe it actually will prevent them from getting
So
COVID-19?
the FDA has approved this for off-label use. You know, this president's a big believer in right-to-try legislation. People who are in their last... There are several studies that have been brought that the president has actually mentioned that I'd refer you to. There was one out of France, a French study involving more than 1,000 patients that found that the vast majority had, quote, good clinical outcomes. And by the vast majority, that was more than 90%. 50%. There was an Italian study of more than 65,000 patients that demonstrated only 20 tested positive of those who were taking it prophylactically, and a South Korea study as well. So there are several studies, and if you're someone out there and this is a safe drug to use and your doctor, importantly to underscore that, and your doctor prescribes it for your use as a prophylaxis or after coming into contact with COVID, then it's something you should take if it's prescribed by the doctor and that's your personal medical choice. Yes.
Kayleigh, Governor DeSantis just suggested that the president may be going down to Florida for the SpaceX NASA launch next week. Is that accurate?
So we have no news on scheduling at that front, but if I get news in the future, I will certainly provide that for you. Yes, Jack.
Kayleigh, how often does the president talk to Director Vogt or Acting Director Vogt from the OMB?
To who?
To the Acting Director of OMB.
Often. He just was in the Oval Office with the president, so they do speak often. I don't have a readout of the president's schedule, but they do speak regularly.
So if he wanted to flag to him his concerns about Michigan, why didn't he just tell him instead of sending a tweet?
Because the president believes in unprecedented transparency, and I'm sure you as a journalist are very eager and excited when you learn about the president's decision-making process in real time, whether that's on Twitter or from me here up at the podium.
You just said that was the reasoning for him expressing
I didn't
his
say that was the
concerns?
reasoning, but I'm saying this is a transparent president, and I think that that's something that you should be lauding rather than questioning as to why he decided to tweet this. Yes.
Apart from President Macron, do you have any other answers from G7 leaders that they are definitely willing to come here?
So I won't get into the president's private conversations and correspondences with world leaders, but we do hope to see this happen. We hope that...
How can you characterize the response as being great, sounds like a good idea, or thinking about it?
So I don't have any information about the response from world leaders, but we certainly hope to see this happen. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Could you clarify, please, President Trump's comments about saying that it was a good idea, it was good that there were so many positive tests for COVID-19, whereas a lot of people look at that and say that this was actually terrible, that we have actually 1/3 of all the cases in the world.
Well, look, I would note this, that the president, what he was saying there is that we are testing. When you have more cases, in order to identify those cases, you have to have tested a high volume of people. So the more you test, the more cases numerically, not necessarily as a percent positive, but numerically, you will see just by volume, sheer volume of your testing. And the president's done an extraordinary job on this front. Washington Post surveyed governor's offices and state health departments and found that at least a dozen states have testing capacity that outstrips the supply of patients. That's a very good job done by our federal government in supporting the states. To cite the governor of New York again, quote, "We have more sites and more testing capacity than we're using." So we're testing a lot, and thus we're finding a number of cases, but as we safely reopen, we do have some encouraging numbers on that front, that we continue to see a week-over-week decline, a 15% decline in deaths in just the last week. April 1st to mid-May, 50% decline in new hospitalization and under 25,000 cases today, so we are seeing progress. Yes.
Kayleigh, can you tell us what law specifically the president thinks the Secretary of State in Michigan broke by sending out the applications? And did the Secretary of State in Georgia also break that law by sending out applications for their primary?
Again, I'd reference you to the campaign. These are ballot questions, and I'd reference you to the campaign on that.
He's the president,
that's
and
my
you're
former
his
employer. My
spokesperson.
current employer is the White House. So
But,
thank you.
yes, but that's not a campaign question. That's the president of the United States saying that
it's a campaign
state
question
broke
on
the
ballot
law.
initiatives that you have and absentee ballots. So I would refer you to the campaign on that front. And I would note to you that many of those ballots that are submitted via mail can be fraudulent. I cited to you the bipartisan study. I can read it again. Maybe you weren't paying attention when I read it the first time, so I'll read it again. President Carter, a Democrat, not a Republican, and James Baker concluded that these ballots remained the largest source of potential voter fraud. So if you cast a ballot via mail and you do so fraudulently, that would be an illegal act, and I'd point you to that. And for further, I'd point you to my former employer, which is the Trump campaign.
Is the president concerned
Any other
about fraud in
questions?
Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, Kayleigh. Two questions, if I may. Firstly, on airports. The TSA is reportedly considering setting up temperature checks at airports. Given the numbers of people who can be asymptomatic or sick without a fever, do you think that's sufficient? And why wasn't more done to have screening at airports sooner, particularly in light of the House oversight investigation that called screening from international hotspots in March limited and stagnant?
So the president is working with TSA, he's working with airlines. We want to ensure that our TSA employees are safe, that those who are traveling are safe, and he has had those conversations, and we are keeping people safe at the TSA and the passengers as well.
Over 500 TSA employees have become sick, and 6 are dead. So again, do you think this has been enough action and soon enough?
We've taken action. We're working with the TSA. We're keeping America's essential workers safe, and we are praying for all of those who have been affected by coronavirus.
And then on another front, I wanted to ask about the president's son and business partner, Eric Trump. He recently said of coronavirus that, quote, the Democrats are trying to milk this and predicted it will, quote, magically all of a sudden go away and disappear and everyone will be able to reopen after the election in November. Do you think Eric Trump's comments are accurate and also appropriate?
I think we all hope coronavirus goes away, and I think as we continue to take the president and his family out of context, we should endeavor to quote them accuracy, and I think we should all hope that the coronavirus goes. We should all hope that the coronavirus goes away. Yes.
Is there a timeline for when UK and European Union citizens and visitors are allowed to come back into the United States, and will all European countries be included, or could it be a case-by-case basis?
So we don't have a timeline on that just yet. I can tell you the president's preeminent concern is keeping Americans safe. His travel restrictions have saved lives, as Dr. Fauci and others have noted. So we don't have an announcement as to when we'll be rolling those back, but his priority, his number one concern is America first and the health and well-being of the nation first. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. A spokesman for Governor Whitmer said that she isn't planning to meet with the president and wasn't given an invitation tomorrow. I was wondering if there's a reason why
that
wouldn't meet
Governor
with
Whitmer said
Whitmer in Michigan wasn't extended an invitation to the president's appearance in Michigan tomorrow, and I was wondering if there's a reason why he wasn't going to meet with her like other governors.
I don't think there was a particular reason. It didn't come up, but while on that note, I would point to Governor Whitmer. It sounds like she's curious about an invitation, but she should be quite happy that thanks to this federal government, FEMA obligated more than $216.2 million to Michigan, $8.6 million N95 respirators, 740,018 surgical masks, 311,571 face shields. I should round these up or we'll be here all day. 760,000 gloves, 700 ventilators. The president has done quite a bit for Michigan, and her concern's an invitation, but she should be thanking the president for all the supplies that he's delivered to her state. Yes.
Yes, Kayleigh, the president has made clear that he's concerned about liability issues as companies reopen now. Is the White House engaged with Republican senators about this issue, and would the president sign another bill, another COVID bill, without liability being addressed in that?
So I won't lay out the president's conditions or lack thereof for any upcoming legislation. He has mentioned that it's something that needs to be looked at closely, and he is looking at closely, and he is discussing with members of the Hill about that. But he has made clear in terms of a phase 4 that he wants to be slow as we approach a phase 4 and not rush forward with spending trillions more dollars of taxpayer money. We've done a lot so far, and he'll look at doing more in the future, and liability is definitely something that he's concerned about and working on. Yes. Right back there.
Oh, one more on G7. Do you think that it would be appropriate to hold a G7 summit in the U.S. while ordinary citizens are still not allowed to travel freely, for example, from Europe?
Yeah, the president wants us to start reopening. Travel restrictions are something that, he wants to make sure American lives are protected before those are lifted. But that being said, I do think it's entirely appropriate, so does the president, to have a G7 here. America's reopening, the world's reopening. And what a show of strength and optimism to have all of the leaders of these countries come together at the White House and pursue business as usual and as we move forward through this pandemic. Is there anyone I haven't gotten to? I guess not. Okay, so we'll do a few more. Yeah, I had a brief answer to your question. So
hey, Kayleigh, Susan Rice wrote an op-ed yesterday in the New York Times that said that President Trump has kowtowed to President Xi, and also has said that called his response to the coronavirus deadly, classified as a deadly mishandling. What's the White House's response to that?
So you said that came from Susan Rice, was it? Okay, so first I would want to take a moment to address the president's response because the president has had an extraordinary and early response to the coronavirus. I would note, Dr. Birx, the early work of President Trump, both with travel restrictions and quarantine, has bought us the time and space necessary to have this task force be very effective. Dr. Fauci saying that the president's response has been impressive. You can't imagine under any circumstance that anyone could be doing anything more. I can go through the actions. There's a detailed timeline out there. January 6th, Wuhan issuing a travel notice issued on Wuhan when there were 0 cases in the United States. The 17th, 0 reported U.S. cases, and there were public health entry screenings at major U.S. airports. Of course, the infamous travel restrictions that were called xenophobic by Democrats on January 31st. A lot of action in February on developing a test and making sure we were moving forward as speedily as possible on that. Keep in mind, in late February, Pelosi was saying, come to Chinatown, it's very safe, but the president had already taken very early action. And I know you brought up Susan Rice in that context, but I'm going to bring her up in another context that's equally as newsworthy, and that is the email that was declassified from Susan Rice on Inauguration Day, which is so peculiar. It set the scene. It's Inauguration Day. You're moving out of the White House. This is the most powerful building on planet Earth. Susan Rice is moving out, reflecting on her time here, and what is she doing? She's not packing her boxes. She's not being nostalgic about her time in the White House. What she's doing is writing an email where 3 times she writes that President Obama emphasized to conduct the investigation into Michael Flynn by the book, by the book, by the book. She writes it 3 times. As Shakespeare said, thou doth protest too much, Susan Rice. He didn't have the Susan Rice part in there, but I'll add that in. 2, she was asked specifically about the unmasking of Michael Flynn after she discussed it on January 5th in the Oval Office with Obama, after she wrote this email to herself on Inauguration Day. She was asked by good journalist Judy Woodruff about this email and about the unmasking of Michael Flynn, not the email, but the unmasking. She was asked specifically about Nunes's claim specifically. So let me clarify, it was Nunes's claim. And she said, I know nothing about this, so it was a lie. And then Susan Rice, since no one brought it up to me, I will bring it up to you. Her attorney said that this was the first opportunity 3 weeks after this Oval Office meeting that she had to write this email memorializing her Oval Office meeting with Barack Obama discussing Michael Flynn. It was her first opportunity, she said. Interesting, because she had an opportunity in those 3 weeks on January 10th to do a passing of the baton event with none other than Michael Flynn, where she praised him, wished him success, and talked about the great transition into the White House. And then on January 12th, she was able to participate in a story that published on that date in the lifestyle section of the Washington Post. So she never had time to write this email until Inauguration Day as she's rushing out the door, when in fact she had an opportunity to do all of those things. I'll leave that with you. Thank you for bringing up Susan Rice, not in the context that I wished, but for allowing me to share that with you.
Come on.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. That was awesome. I think she did a very, very good job, like always. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, and also make sure you let us know what you guys think in the comments section below. Share this video on social media, and like I said, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. If you want to get notified for future live streams here at Golden State Times of the president, the press secretary, and everything else that has to do with politics, then make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. But also send us a text message with the word Trump Live to the number 555-888. And we will send you a notification 100% of the time, compared to less than 10% of the time with YouTube. So once again, if you want to get notified by us instead of YouTube, text the word Trump Live to the number 555-888. I will put it up on your screen so you can see it. So, like it says on your screen, text the word Trump Live to the number 555-888 to get notified by us instead of YouTube. Thank you so much, folks, and I will see you soon. All right, folks. So we'll be uploading that onto the channel right now, just in case you missed it. It was awesome. Let us know what you guys think about her performance today and up till today. So she's done already like 4 press briefings, I believe, 4 or 5 press briefings. And it's awesome because she's using facts and stuff on the record to back up to what she's talking about and what she's trying to communicate, which is very good. That she's using the own Democrats, the own media's words against them. That's the best way to do it. And it just completely shuts them up. As you heard at the end, almost maybe 1 or 2 reporters did scream some stuff as she was walking out, but they're most of the time left completely speechless. The fake news is left completely speechless every single time that she walks out the door. Also, to our members, we hope that you guys liked our new emojis. We have a few Kayleigh emojis. We have a couple Trump emojis and others that we have been uploading ever so often. We're going to be uploading a few more emojis in the next coming week, so stay tuned. But I hope that you guys did like our emojis that we have up to right now. And let us know which of the emojis is your favorite. Let us know in the chat. All right, folks. I don't know if you guys heard me, but we have uploaded the video onto the channel. Click the link in that I'm putting in the chat for the video. Go over there, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. If you missed Kayleigh's Q&A with reporters, it's already been uploaded. Let us know if you got notified for that upload that happened like 2-3 minutes ago.